One of the hardest things for some people to give up when we change their nutrition is soda. And so today we wanted to show you how to make some awesome homemade water kefir soda. I am Dr. Scott Norda.
And I'm Amy Norda.
And today we're going to do that. It almost seems too simple, but it works and it tastes delicious. So just try it out. So here we go. So this is our water kefir. I don't know if you can tell from way back there, but there are a lot of bubbles coming up in here because at the very bottom of this they have water kefir grains. You can buy grains even on Amazon or order them in other places. A lot of health food stores sell them.
Yeah. eBay's a great place too, usually the cheapest option.
eBay?
Also,
if you know somebody.
Yes, there are lots of Facebook groups dedicated to healthy living or fermentation, and you can find one in your area and just borrow some grains from somebody and get your own start.
Yeah, so Amy mentioned fermentation. So this is a probiotic drink. So not only do you get the benefits of kind of a sparkly, yummy soda that you can make and flavor however you want, but you get the health benefits. We've had patients come in with irritable bowel, with lots of other problems, and one of the biggest things that helps them is to introduce more probiotics like water kefir. And you can buy it, but it gets expensive if you buy a lot of it, and this way you can just make the flavors that you want. So again, this is the water kefir grains at the bottom. They are feeding on the water, the sugar water that's in there. Okay, and we're going to kind of go through that process, but we're going to start from this part. So, and you don't have to have this much. We have 5 kids, and they drink a lot, and our guests love it as well. So we make quite a bit of it, but you can start with just making about a mason jar's worth, like a quart-sized jar,
or even a pint-sized jar,
or a pint-sized.
You're just getting started.
And then they just keep growing. So the more that you feed them, the more that they grow. All right?
And you give them away to your friends who decide they love water kefir soda also.
Yeah. Okay, so the key is you don't necessarily want to eat and drink the grains, not that you can't. Sometimes our 11-year-old does sneak some grains. Oddly enough, he loves the flavor. But we're going to filter those out. So I like to use just the blender top. You can use another pitcher if you'd like. But we're going to just pour it through this and just carefully filter it out.
And we put just a little strainer on there just to catch the few grains that get poured out.
And if you do start to get too much and you don't need that much, sometimes it can change the flavor a little bit where it over ferments too quickly with the sugar and water that you have, and so you just can drain out or throw away some of those grains if you don't have somebody that can use them. Okay, so we'll set this aside for a second and we will open. Now I mentioned we can flavor it however you want. We love lots of different flavors. Today we're going to use this mango naked juice because it has some different fruits and vegetables in it, and this one tends to work pretty well and pretty consistently. You can use different juices. Juice is easiest, but we also love to just do things on our own. So we've tried pineapple, we've tried lemon ginger. We grabbed some mint from our plants outside and put that in.
Or blueberry lime.
Blueberry lime, kiwi we've put in with blueberries. So lots of options there. You can try different amounts. 7.5 to 8 cups would be about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of juice, depending on how strong you want that flavor to be. Okay, so we will.
And it seems like that might not flavor that much, but it goes a long way. It's surprising.
Okay. And the other thing about this naked juice is even without adding a lot, you can see that it brightens that color quite a bit. And so it's pretty to look at too. So people get excited about it. So you can mix it around a little bit. I didn't have my spoon handy, so I'm just going to mix it just a little bit here, just to make sure that they're all about the same.
We just buy flip top bottles off of Amazon. You can get like 12 or 16 of them for fairly cheap. You can also go to a thrift store and find these pretty easily. Or you can go to like a store like Trader Joe's and get some of their specialty like Italian sodas or other drinks that sometimes have these. You want something that will seal it pretty closely so you can keep the pressure in, and that will allow it to carbonate.
Yeah, so if it has a twist top, we do use that occasionally, it just doesn't carbonate quite as much. So these work out much better.
We all love the carbonation, so it's a good option.
Alright, so we'll just pour some of this. Definitely helpful to have a funnel.
So you want to be careful that you don't fill it too high, because if you do, it might explode on you. We have sealing marks from,
Lots of evidence in our house.
from exploding water kefir.
Okay, we'll just seal those up. Now we have just our kefir grains in here, and the rest is empty. Now we do get asked quite often, what about the sugar? And we tend to avoid sugar as much as we can. And so what we tell people is the reason that we're okay to drink it or we're okay with it is that the water kefir grains actually ferment and feed on that sugar. So there is some sweetness left at the end, especially with the mango juice or the second round of sweetening that you do, but not a lot. And the sugar that you feed it initially is really what creates that carbonation. So if you skimp on the sugar, you'll skimp on the carbonation and the flavor. So you really need it.
We put in about 1/2 to 3/4 cup of sugar for this much water, and this is about 2 quarts here. So for 1 quart, you just put 1/4 cup of sugar.
Yeah, and a simple rule of thumb is to look at how much of the grains you have, and you need about that much sugar. Another important part of this is the type of water that you use. If you just use simple tap water, it has chlorine, it has other things in it that are likely to damage, if not kill off, the good bacteria that's in the water kefir. So the water kefir itself has lots of different types of bacteria, has yeast, and that culture is what provides a lot of the beneficial, not just the flavor, but the beneficial health benefits.
Yeah, it's a probiotic. So bacteria is not bad.
Right.
Some bacteria is bad. Lots of bacteria is really good and really important for your health.
Yeah, and you just want to maintain a good balance, and that's what probiotics help you to do. So we use a Berkey water filter. You can use any type of water filtration that you prefer, and then it's a simple process. Now, a lot of people will heat up the water. They may boil the water and the sugar together. We're pretty lazy about that, so we just put the sugar in, put the water in, shake it up, call it a day.